Hey folks, good morning. I am out in the woods. I'm gonna go over and we're gonna record some articles. We're gonna film a couple of articles. I got out here this morning. It's Monday morning. I think today's the 7th. It is November 7th. I've got to be in Alabama today. I gotta leave here in about an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm gonna get up here and do these couple of articles right quick so I can get them uploaded and shared to you all. And these are more articles from our brother Don Moore. I've been so busy lately, ain't been able to do it. Yesterday I actually did film the articles, but I've got another memory card failure, so now I'm down to one memory card, which means I'm down to one camera. I reformatted the card in the other camera, and it worked a little bit this morning, and then it started acting up. So the memory card that I'm down to is the one that I'm doing this on right now, and it is a small memory card. I normally use a 128 gig or a 256 gig. I just can't afford to get one right now. These GoPros require a fast memory card, like a V30 card, a class 10 V30. It's just got to be fast for the operating system. And to get a big memory card, they're about 80 bucks to get a one that'll hold 5 hours of footage. These small cards, this is a 32 or 64 gigabyte. The 64 holds I believe an hour and 59 minutes of video, if I'm remembering correctly. But anyhow, I've got to get some memory cards. I got to get 2 of them. I normally have a backup memory card in case I have a failure like now, but I've had 3 memory card failures this year that I was unable to recover the card. They would not reformat. I couldn't get them to work again. And then I had the memory card failure yesterday, and it's acting up again today, so I'm pretty sure that one is going to be completely done by the end of the day. I've got it in this little GoPro right now, and it's been acting up, so I doubt it's not gonna work much longer. But anyhow, I'm going into the woods here, and we're gonna do the articles. I just want to be in a quieter environment, something nice, just in the outdoors, somewhere where it's pretty. So I'm going to the property. That's where we're headed, and I'm going to go check the feed. We put some feed out for the deer at this particular area. There's been a lot of big deer here, and so we put some feed out 3 days ago. I'm gonna go in and just take a look at it, and then we're gonna set up somewhere and we're gonna do some articles. Same ones I tried to do yesterday. I filmed for 2 hours and 9 minutes yesterday and have 0 footage. Alright, here we go. Going off the smooth dirt road onto the rough one. I found a somewhat faster way to get back to the property. It's nowhere near as it's not fast, but it's faster than the route that I've been taking. I just have to use 4-wheel drive, and one part I already got the 4-wheel drive turned on, so I don't have to stop in the middle of this soft sand to turn it on. pretty good normally in the sand, as long as it's not that white powder sand, and that's exactly what this is here. There's tire tracks all over, people riding around everywhere. I got to put a camera up over here too, because trying to keep poachers out. But I'm gonna get down here, we're gonna get set up. I got the articles with me, they're in the backpack. And hopefully my glasses are in the backpack. We're in the sand now. In the powder sand. But we'll be there in just a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and stop this now, try to conserve some of the battery and memory card space, because I don't have a lot of room on this card. So we'll be there in a second. Alright guys, I've got the camera with me. We're gonna put this camera up in here. We got tire tracks. Somebody pulled up right behind the truck right there. There's like 3 different vehicles. Got boot prints right there on the left side. Turkey tracks. Looking, there's a tennis shoe print right there. Yep, some people coming in here. You can see it right there. That looks like a it's got a tail mark, then it's got feet marks like a iguana. Yeah, there's boot print right there. People coming in here. I'm gonna put this camera up down here where we put the feet out. And this is the same area where Mark and Carrie camps. That's that little, we got that area at the bottom of the hill that Kim and I call it Camp Carrie Arnold. That's straight ahead of us down here. I'm gonna put this camera up and see, there's that mark again. I have no idea what that is. Whatever it is, it's got a tail that it drags. It's been digging a hole. I don't know. Bunch of turkey tracks. See, there's that mark again. You can see the feet beside it. That's some of the vittles that we put out. I need to put it where it's not it's not going to get the sun shining on it. There's a feeder out of there, Cody's feeder. It's like the bear got into it again. A lot of deer tracks here. Alright, I wonder if I should put it right here. I'm gonna put the camera right here on this little tree right here. And yeah, that'll work. go. Alright, now we're gonna go back up here. We'll just set up and do some articles. This area is so thick in here, it just anything could be hiding 20 feet from you and you wouldn't be able to see it. Alright, well, we can get these articles, get these done, because I've got a very busy day ahead of me today. Still got to put out some rolls of hay for the goats, get showered, get changed, get some gas in the vehicle, and then leave for Dothan, Alabama. So there's another shooting blind. They're all over in here. Crazy considering the guy who owned this property does not hunt. He does not allow people to hunt on it. We've removed probably 5 or 6 hunting blinds. Alright, let's get set up. Alright guys, I'm gonna go in here and find somewhere we can set up. We can do these articles. I don't want to get too deep in here. For obvious reason of just stuff that I don't care for out here. And I don't have snake boots on. See if we can find a spot. And this is part of the property. It gets so doggone thick in places in here. Well, that was loud. Something took off. Trying to find an easy way in. Gee whiz. I'm caught. Golly, there's so many briars in here. Grabbing everything. My clothes. It is spooky in here, I'm not gonna lie to you. Say it ain't. See where it opens up, it gets really pretty. I'm gonna find a spot right here. Try not to snatch my microphone out. Maybe. Oh, that's pretty right through there. Let's find us somewhere we can set our mic up. Beautiful oak tree right there. There's no telling what we may see in here. There are a couple of pictures from one of these articles. Find this limb somewhere I can attach this camera to. Tell you what, give me just a second. Let me see about putting it right here. All right, guys, I'm gonna try it right there. This really is a creepy area. Really, really creepy. So I'm gonna squat down here, get my glasses out where I can see. I'm old. Old people can't see good. Not this one. All right, I think. All right, we're gonna start with this article here. This is titled, "The Largest Bear Ever Seen." The year is February 7th of 1962 in Fort Bragg in northwestern California, Mendocino County. The information source for this article is multiple eyewitnesses, police reports from the Sourdough Crock, a newsletter from the California Folklore Society 1, number 4, in 1962, and an article by Hector Lee called "This is the Bigfoot Edition." Strange World in 1964 by Frank Edwards, The Sasquatch File in 1973 by John Green, and the Santa Rosa Press Democrat, February 18th, 1962. The article, "Skeptics and Enthusiasts Clash on Bigfoot Search." Robert Hatfield heard the dogs howling. At least that's what he claimed later. Hatfield was a logger down from Crescent City in the far northwestern corner of California, visiting his sister and brother-in-law at Fort Bragg along the coast. It was Wednesday night, February 7th of 1962. Hatfield went outside to see what was bothering the dogs. He saw a huge creature, a beast, Hatfield said, much bigger than a bear, covered with fur, with a flat, hairless face and perfectly round eyes. It stood chest and shoulders above a 6-foot-high fence. Hatfield went back into the house and woke Bud Jenkins, his brother-in-law, telling him to come out and see the largest bear he'd ever see. When Jenkins and Hatfield returned to the yard, the beast was no longer there. Jenkins went back inside to get his gun, and Hatfield started scouting. He rounded the corner of the house and bumped into the beast. It knocked him down so hard that his arm and shoulders were sore for the next 3 days. Hatfield scrambled back inside, yelling a warning to Jenkins. There was a half-man, half-beast monster after them. Once Hatfield was in the house, he and Bud tried to slam the door shut, but the beast caught it and pushed back. "Let it in and I'll get it," Jenkins shouted, holding his shotgun. The two men let go, but before Jenkins could fire off a round, the beast turned and left. It's a good thing, too. It turned out the gun wasn't loaded. The sheriff's department came out to investigate the disturbance. There were few clues. A bad odor wafted heavily in the air. There was also a muddy handprint on the door measuring 11.5 inches long with stubby fingers. Journalists for the local Santa Rosa Press Democrat did some probing into the matter too. 6 Fort Bragg men formed a hunting party. For the past several years, newspapers had been reporting on a monstrous man-like beast said to roam from British Columbia down into Northern California. It was called Bigfoot. 4 of the men in the hunting party were convinced that Hatfield and Jenkins had seen Bigfoot. As evidence, they pointed to broken branches along a path about a mile from Jenkins' property, some tracks and some dung. The 2 other members of the party were skeptics. The branches proved nothing, they said. Deer could have broken them. Bears could have made the tracks, and the dung was horse manure. Indeed, the whole matter seemed to be not much more than manure. Maybe that accounted for the lingering odor around the Jenkins house. The newspaper reports caught the eye of Hector Lee at nearby Sonoma State College. Lee was an important folklorist, having done seminal work on Mormon folk tales and was building an archive of California folklore. Apparently, he had not paid any attention to Bigfoot prior to the creature being sighted in Mendocino County. But now he started gathering information about the beast. It was part of a small spur spurt of interest in Bigfoot among folklorists and those interested in folklore. Unlike the sheriffs, journalists, or hunters, the folklorists were not interested in whether Hatfield actually saw a half-man, half-beast monster. To them, Hatfield saw no such thing, but that didn't mean his stories and other tales about the creature weren't important or didn't reveal something about the human condition. All right, these are the photos I'm going to show you. And all these are from Brother Don. For those of you new here and you're not familiar with who Brother Don is, he provides the articles and that information for us. All right, this is Fort Bragg area in northwestern California where a Sasquatch attacked a house and knocked a man down and injuring him February 7th of 1962. Guys, I'm trying to get it lined up right. It's kind of hard outdoors. Sunlight is making it hard to see the screen. It's only got a couple of pictures, but I'm going to share them with you. And this is the Pacific coastline at Fort Bragg, California. Well, that is really pretty. It's a beautiful area, but not for me. I'm not interested in the big hairy things. Some of you probably recognize that area. I would imagine those from California. Oh, gee whiz. Boy, these glasses make it hard to walk. I can't see nothing. All right, this next one I'm going to do, this one is recognizing methods cryptids use to lure, abduct, attack, and kill adults or children, and they can save your life. The location for this article is in Oklahoma, and the information sources are eyewitness testimony, personal opinions, and knowledge based on first-hand encounters. The attempted Oklahoma child abduction. One family had experiences with their 10 to 12-year-old daughter and what was going on outside her bedroom window at night. There was the howling, the knocks, the hoots, the whistles, and tapping on her bedroom window, all done to lure her outside in the dark, lure her to open her window and spark interest in her. One night in particular, the situation became very frightening as this cryptid decided the luring had gone on long enough, and it took things to the next level to abduct this 10 to 12-year-old girl. On this night, the dad was gone working long hours. The daughter heard a wood-breaking noise at her bedroom window which caused her to run into her mother's bedroom out of fear. The window was a wood single-hung style with a small turn lock at the top of the lower pane of glass. The next morning when the father returned home, he examined the window from the outside and discovered what the break sound was that the daughter had heard the night before. Something with strong hands had gotten underneath the frame of the lower glass panel at the seal and had lifted the window, breaking the turn lock in the process. The creature then shoved a corn cob underneath the window to keep it open at the bottom. Corn was being grown on this property, so corn cobs were easily accessible. They thought this creature was planning to come back and abduct their daughter through the barely noticeable propped-up single-hung window, and maybe the corn cob stuck between the sill and bottom of the window frame, and the broken turn lock would not be so noticeable to the family. Very smart cryptid indeed, and very smart how it chose to wait until the father was gone and wait until after dark to do this maneuver. This led to the family being more aware of the cryptid's methods of getting to their young daughter, and knowing that the cryptid was aware that their daughter was young and more vulnerable than they would be. Now this is the methods this cryptid used. Number 1, sounds like knocking, howling, and window tapping to get the attention of the girl who they knew was the youngest and most vulnerable for an abduction, the same way a predator chooses which animal go after in a herd, the youngest, the sickest, and the most vulnerable. Waiting until the dad, the alpha male of the family, was gone to break the window and only the girl's bedroom window. Number 3, waiting until after dark when humans are sleeping and not aware, and the cryptid is using darkness to be secretive and the art of surprise attack. And number 4, when lifting the window and the sound of the breaking turn lock awoke the girl and the cryptid saw or heard her run into another bedroom, it stuck a corn cob under the window frame to come back later when the girl was alone again and retry the abduction. The late night attempted attack on a distracted man in Oklahoma. Another man in the same neighborhood of Oklahoma tells a harrowing tale of near escape from an attack or abduction by some cryptid. He had been living alone and was having a lot of bad, weird things happen around his home, so he had been staying out late to avoid being there. His front porch was a wooden structure 6 feet off the ground with a lattice skirting around the bottom which enclosed the flat porch below, which at night was pitch black under there behind the lattice. There was a ramp that led up to this 6-foot-high porch. On one particular night, he returned home late and noticed the porch light bulb was out. Thinking it was nothing more than a bulb that had went out, he went up the ramp and was standing at the front door in the dark, fumbling for the right door key. Opening the front door, he stepped in and thought he felt a cat at his feet. Then he felt what was like hands at the floor level trying to grab his legs and pull him back out the door. Breaking free and slamming the front door shut and locking it, he ran into the house yelling. Upon examination, his pants had been slashed with 4 gashes. Because he was a hunter, he had been wearing his snake boots, and those boots had slash marks down the side into the boots. This scared him very badly. Whatever it was under the porch, likely a dogman or crawler, was so very strong to make gashes like that into pants and boots. Now, the methods that this cryptid used. Number 1, being aware the owner was staying out late and it knew about what time it should be waiting for him to return. Number 2, using the cover of darkness under the 6-foot-high porch obscured by lattice work to lie in wait for him. Number 3, disabling of the light bulb to make the porch completely dark, to grab him by the legs and pull him back out in a disorienting type of attack. And number 4, to grab him while he was distracted with finding the right door key in the dark, giving the creature an opportunity to attack and to slash his legs in an attempt to injure or disable him where it could enter the house and take him or kill him. One man's advice on removing a cryptid's advantages. Says one man, it's scary. These cryptids are scary. Not only their appearance, but the noises they make. If you have encountered them enough, your fear and training takes over in the sense that I forget about getting hurt by them, and instead I focus more on taking the cryptid's advantages away. If you can do this, it protects you more. People ask me, why do you go out there and investigate when if this cryptid wanted you, it could have already had you? I agree. It could have had me at times, but to explain it this way, I feel when I'm out there with these cryptids, there's a boundary line. When I step outside the house, there's a security light that creates a circle of light. Everything outside that circle, like the barn, the pasture, the chicken coop, the hog houses, and tool sheds, those are outside of the circle of light and in the dark where these things call, where they knock and make noises to lure you out. I feel if you go past that boundary, out of the circle of light and into this thing, then you are setting yourself up for an encounter. If you stay within your boundary, it's not as likely for it to come into yours. Also, it doesn't want a lot of people to see it. For example, when my relative would be getting bad activity outside her home, she would call us, and a few of us who live close by would show up, and this thing would leave, and you could hear it in the distance howling and making noises. I think, too, it knows if it causes a lot of trouble in one particular area, then there will be more people out looking for it. I believe these cryptids are opportunists. If you get yourself in a vulnerable situation, it will take advantage of that.
You don't want to be one of the people found dead and the only thing they say is that you died of hypothermia. A little boy had went missing and they were searching and searching down this dry creek bed. Eventually, they have an encounter with a creature and then they find the little boy. He had been wadded up and shoved into a hollow part of a tree. Before the searchers could even talk to the parents, other government officials showed up. They told the searchers the story they had to present, a different version of the truth, a version where certain events were in a certain order and they were threatened to obey this. People killed by cryptids, their deaths are always blamed on accidents, on dogs, etc. Why would the government not admit to these creatures' existence? The opinion is until you have a cryptid in front of the public, not the government, because they already know, then it won't be common knowledge of the existence of these things. Don't become an accident. Don't put yourself in a vulnerable situation where you go missing. The truth will not be told about you and what happened. People ask, why would the government not admit to these cryptids being there if they know they exist? It's simple. There's liability. If you knew there was a risk to people's lives, you knew these creatures were hiding in the national parks, the forests, the hiking trails, and recreational areas, yet you didn't inform the public and allow people to go into these areas, these organizations would be sued. They would have to close all the public areas where it was known these creatures prowl, and the organizations would go bankrupt. If people were informed of these cryptids, how many visitors would stop coming, stop camping, stop fishing, stop hiking, stop hunting, and stop floating down the rivers, etc.? This would hurt a large portion of the parks and outdoor industry. Liability. If you know monsters are there at public access areas and bad things happen, then you are liable. So they don't admit to the existence of these creatures. That was a very good article. Guys, I'm getting really freaked out. I don't know if it's picking it up. I'm wearing a wireless microphone and keep hearing knocking, like a tapping back here. And then I'm hearing movement in the leaves. I was going to do another article, but I am not going to do it here. I just want to get out of here. I don't like it. Guys, I'm not a researcher. I'm not into the Bigfoot scene. I don't want nothing to do with them. Let me get this off. It's going to be loud. Yeah, I'm wearing a wireless microphone. And I don't know if this is my new mic. I don't know if it's picking up those sounds back there or not. Heard knocking twice. It's not real loud, but it's loud enough. And it seems to be in threes. Tap, tap, tap. And then I heard what sounded like something moving through like what we're doing right now through this dry stuff. And then I heard it again, tap, tap, tap. How did I get in here? I'm not far from where Camp Carrie Arnold is. I'm not far at all. But it's too close. I want out of here. Those noises aren't your common run-of-the-mill everyday noise. It's not a woodpecker. Woodpeckers it's pretty obvious the sound they make. We have a couple of different type woodpeckers and each one makes a different sound, but it's you can identify a woodpecker pretty easily. Uh-oh. Hope you guys are still hearing me. I thought I unplugged the microphone. All right. Well, I am going to get back to the truck and I'm going to get on the road. I got so much I got to do today, and I don't want to be in here by myself. And yes, I'm scared of these creatures. And it doesn't bother me if people make fun of me or call me chicken because I'm afraid of them. The truth is the truth. There's nothing I can do about that. If I had a bazooka in my hand, I would still be afraid of them. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. I love each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed these articles, no, I'm not asking you to click like and subscribe. No, I'm not asking that at all. If you like these articles, when you see Brother Don Moore in the chat, let him know. Give him some appreciation for what he does. He does all the legwork, printing this stuff out. A lot of it's audio files, and he will put on headphones, he listens to it, and he will literally write down word for word the entire file, and then he'll have it printed out for us. I'm gonna get to the truck, guys. I love you. God bless you. I'll definitely see you soon. Until that time, be safe, be kind, and be blessed. We'll see you soon.